Inquisitors play a large role in the Empire in both the Legends and Canon timelines of Star Wars. While both versions of the Inquisitorius were dark side Force users that served Emperor Palpatine, their duties and responsibilities differ somewhat. Let's dive in and find out the major differences between the Imperial Inquisitors in Legends and Canon. In Legends, there are dozens of Inquisitors, all agents within the Imperial intelligence. Their ability in the Force varied, while some were former Jedi, others showed only mild Force sensitivity. The hierarchy included a Grand Inquisitor and High Inquisitors who ranked above the majority of the Inquisitorius. The Imperial Inquisitors were established after the rise of the Empire, and were sent to find Jedi who survived Order 66. In the later years of the Empire, however, their primary role was using the Force to interrogate people and extract information on behalf of Imperial intelligence, especially those strong-willed enough to withstand more common methods of torture. Other inquisitorial duties included finding Force-sensitive beings that could be of service to the Emperor, and occasionally overseeing experimental weapons projects such as the prototype Super Star Destroyer. The Inquisitorius was largely kept a secret by the Empire, and as such, they weren't accounted for in official Imperial records and answered directly to the Emperor rather than to Imperial intelligence. One of the longest surviving and most powerful Imperial Inquisitors was Jerec, a former Jedi archaeologist. He came from a rare humanoid race called the Miraluka, which were almost entirely human in their appearance, though they didn't have eyes. He joined the dark side with the idea that it would bring him a greater wealth of knowledge, which is what he desired above all else. As an Inquisitor, he sought out many Jedi that had survived the Purge and turned them to his side. He also continued to seek Jedi and Sith relics that would bring him and his fellow Inquisitors knowledge and power. Because Jerec was stronger in the Force than most other Inquisitors, he had a rivalry with Darth Vader, feeling that he would be better suited as the Emperor's right-hand man. Because of this, he was constantly trying to gain Palpatine's favor and had plans to overthrow both Sith Lords. After both Vader and Palpatine perished at the Battle of Endor, Jerec took advantage of the power vacuum, recruiting many Imperials to serve him and becoming an Imperial warlord. As warlord, he continued his quest for greater knowledge and power by searching for the Valley of the Jedi. This was the location of an ancient battle between Jedi and Sith, and it was believed that many of their spirits still resided there, creating a powerful Force nexus. After a long search and leaving many deaths in his wake, including rebel leader Morgan Katarn, Jerec eventually learned of the valley's location and basked in the power there, which enhanced his Force abilities and filled him with the knowledge he had craved his whole life. He wouldn't be able to use this godlike power to rule the galaxy, however, since he was stopped by the Jedi in training Kyle Katarn, the son of Morgan Katarn. Katarn defeated him by giving in to the light side of the Force, providing him with the ability to cut Jerec off from the dark side and the power in the valley. As Jerec attacked, Katarn managed to cut him down, killing him. The Imperial Inquisitorius as a serious threat essentially ended with the death of Jerec. The few lesser Inquisitors that were left eventually abandoned the Inquisitorius and served the dark side in other ways. Now let's move on to the Canon version. In Canon, there were significantly less Inquisitors, only about 10 at any given time. They answered directly to Darth Sidious and Darth Vader, and while they weren't usually talked about publicly by the Empire, many galactic citizens were aware of their existence. All of the Inquisitors were former Jedi who Palpatine had managed to convert to the dark side. He did this by seeking out Jedi who were disillusioned with the Order or who showed unusually aggressive qualities. The primary mission of the Inquisitorius was to hunt Jedi as well as other Force-sensitive beings and anyone who posed a threat to the Emperor and his plans. They also kidnapped Force-sensitive children with the intention of indoctrinating them to serve Palpatine. Leading this group of Jedi hunters was the Grand Inquisitor, a Pau'an who used to be a Jedi temple guard. Like Jerec, he sought greater knowledge than that which was available to him. When he saw the flaws of the Council at the trial of Ahsoka Tano, he became disillusioned with the Order. He believed the Jedi Council was hiding things about the Force, and relished in the opportunity to learn from the Jedi archives uninhibited. Rather than using their names, the Inquisitors all had a number assigned to them along with the title of brother or sister, such as Third Sister or the 10th Brother. There was much rivalry within the Inquisitorius. Many of them would attempt to one-up each other to gain favor with Darth Vader, especially when they would join him on missions to hunt Jedi survivors. In the years leading up to the Battle of Yavin, the Grand Inquisitor led many missions to find and eliminate Jedi. He eventually met his end going up against the Jedi Kanan Jarrus and his team of rebels on the planet Lothal. The Inquisitorius as an organization didn't last long after this. The three remaining members, the 5th Brother, the 7th Sister, and the 8th Brother, all perished in battle against Ahsoka Tano, Kanan Jarrus, and the former Sith Lord Darth Maul on the planet Malachor. By the time of the Battle of Yavin, there were no known Inquisitors left, and the Emperor likely didn't see a need for more, since most of the Order 66 survivors were dead by this point. While the broad strokes of the Inquisitorius and some of their duties are the same in both versions, the finer details are very different between the Legends and Canon versions. Both hunted Jedi and both were dark-side Force users, but the similarities mostly end there. In Legends, there were many Inquisitors, and they served a variety of different purposes, while in Canon there are only a handful of them, and their sole mission is to seek out Force users. Which version of the Imperial Inquisitors do you prefer? It's a close matchup for me, but I would personally give the slight edge to the Canon version this time. I like that there are very few of them in Canon. I think having too many of them lessens their impact and importance. I also think their role is much better defined in Canon. Their purpose is to hunt Jedi and seek out other Force sensitives that could either be a help or a hindrance to Palpatine's plans. In Legends, that is certainly part of their duties, but they have so many other things that they are involved with as well, like building Imperial weapons or leading Imperial soldiers, making it unclear what their primary motivation is. That's just my opinion though, and I'd love to hear yours. And to be clear, I do really enjoy both versions of the Inquisitorius, and I particularly like Jerec as a villain in Legends. I'd like to thank these commenters who had the idea for this video. What other Legends vs. Canon stories would you like to see a video about? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for future videos like this one. If you'd like to see another Legends vs. Canon comparison, check out this video here.